Coming up on 5 Minute News. Man charged with killing 8 people at Georgia massage parlors. US House passes domestic violence bill. And North Korea ignores US offer for talks, citing hostility. It's Thursday, March 18. I'm Anthony Davis. A white gunman was charged on Wednesday with killing 8 people at 3 Atlanta area massage parlors in an attack that sent terror through the Asian American community, which has increasingly been targeted during the coronavirus pandemic. A day after the shootings, investigators were trying to unravel what might have compelled 21-year-old Robert Aaron Long to commit the worst mass killing in the US in almost 2 years. Long told police that Tuesday's attack was not racially motivated. He claimed to have a sex addiction, and authorities said he apparently lashed out at what he saw as sources of temptation. But those statements spurred outrage and widespread skepticism, given the locations and that 6 of the 8 victims were women of Asian descent. The shootings appear to be at the intersection of gender-based violence, misogyny and xenophobia, said Representative B. Nugent, the first Vietnamese American to serve in the Georgia House and a frequent advocate for women and communities of color. Authorities said they didn't know if Long ever went to the massage parlors where the shootings occurred, but that he was heading to Florida to attack some type of porn industry. It's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate, Cherokee County Sheriff's Captain Jay Baker told reporters. Baker drew criticism for saying Long had a really bad day and this is what he did. A Facebook page, appearing to belong to Baker, promoted a T-shirt with racist language about China and the coronavirus last year. The account was deleted on Wednesday night, and Baker did not respond to requests for comment. The attack was the 6th mass killing this year in the US and the deadliest since the August 2019 Dayton, Ohio shooting that left 9 people dead. With a nod to Women's History Month, the Democratic-led House passed 2 measures on Wednesday, one designed to protect women from domestic violence, the other to remove the deadline for states to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. The reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act passed 244 to 172, with 29 Republicans joining Democrats in supporting the legislation. The White House announced its support earlier on Wednesday for reauthorizing VAWA, which aims to reduce domestic and sexual violence and improve the response to it through a variety of grant programs. Many of the Democratic Congresswomen wore all-white outfits to commemorate the day, a nod to the women's suffrage movement, when marchers would wear white dresses to symbolize the femininity and purity of their cause. President Joe Biden introduced the original Violence Against Women Act in June 1990 when serving as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. A subsequent version was eventually included in a sweeping crime bill that President Bill Clinton would sign into law 4 years later. Congress has reauthorized the Violence Against Women Act 3 times since. North Korea said today it will ignore a US offer for talks unless it withdraws its hostile policy after Washington reached out to Pyongyang in a bid to resume nuclear negotiations. The statement by Cho Son-hui, the first vice foreign minister, came hours before the US and South Korean foreign and defense chiefs met in Seoul for their first joint talks in 5 years to discuss North Korea's nuclear program. He reiterated North Korea's position that no dialogue of any kind can be possible unless the United States rolls back its hostility. Therefore, we will disregard such an attempt of the US in the future too. US-led diplomacy focusing on North Korea's nuclear weapons remains stalemated for about 2 years because of disputes over US-led sanctions. Experts are debating whether the United States and its allies should settle for a deal that would freeze North Korea's nuclear activities in return for relaxing sanctions to prevent its arsenal from growing. Earlier this week, the powerful sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un threatened to abandon rapprochement with South Korea and warned the United States to refrain from causing a stink while criticizing regular US-South Korean military drills that her government views as an invasion rehearsal. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.